Have you ever imagined that a simple quarter from the 1960s could be worth nearly $2 million? Rarest coins today. We are exploring one of the most mysterious and misunderstood U.S. coins ever made. The 1966 Washington quarter dollar. Some sources online claim this coin can be worth as much as $1.9 million. But what is the truth, and why does this coin attract so much attention? Stay with me, because the history behind this quarter is unlike any other. Let's begin with the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin became a permanent part of American currency. For decades, quarters were made of 90% silver, but everything changed in the mid-1960s. By 1965, silver prices had risen so high that the U.S. Mint could no longer afford to put silver into circulating coins. This led to one of the most dramatic changes in U.S. coinage history. In 1965, quarters were switched from silver to a copper core with copper-nickel outer layers. The year 1966 falls right in the middle of this major transition period. Now here is what makes the 1966 Washington quarter truly unique. There were no mint marks used on coins from 1965 through 1967. This was done intentionally to discourage hoarding during the coin shortage. That means every 1966 quarter looks the same, no matter where it was struck. Coins were produced at multiple facilities, but none carry a mint mark. Another important detail is that no proof coins were officially released to the public in 1966. Instead, the mint produced special mint sets with higher quality coins that were not quite proofs and not quite circulation strikes. These special mint set quarters are sharper, better struck, and far rarer than normal circulation examples. So what is a 1966 Washington quarter worth? Most 1966 quarters found in circulation today are worth only face value of 25 cents. Because millions were produced and used heavily, worn examples are very common. Even many uncirculated circulation strikes are worth only a few dollars. However, value increases dramatically when we talk about special mint set coins and rare mint errors. A 1966 special mint set quarter in top condition can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on grade. These coins have a satin-like finish and much stronger details than regular circulation strikes. Only a limited number were made, and far fewer survive in pristine condition today. Now let's talk about mint errors, because this is where extreme values come into the conversation. Some 1966 quarters were struck with rare and dramatic errors, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, wrong planchet errors, and missing clad layers. A small number of 1966 quarters are believed to have been struck on experimental or transitional plancase during the switch away from silver. These coins are extraordinarily rare and highly sought after by advanced collectors. This brings us to the $1.9 million claim. There is no publicly verified auction record showing a standard 1966 Washington quarter selling for $1.9 million. However, if a previously unknown transitional error or unique mint mistake were discovered, authenticated, and confirmed by top grading services, it could theoretically command an extreme price due to its historical importance. Coins from this transitional era are closely studied because they represent the turning point in American money. That is why rumors around massive values continue to circulate. Most high-dollar claims online are exaggerated or based on misunderstandings. In reality, million-dollar coins are usually unique errors, experimental strikes, or historically significant rarities with strong documentation. Without professional authentication and grading, any claim of $1 million value should be viewed with caution. If you believe you have a valuable 1966 quarter, here is what you should do. First, examine the coin carefully under magnification. Look for unusual color, weight, thickness, or missing layers. Second, never clean the coin, as cleaning can permanently destroy its value. Third, if something looks unusual or extraordinary, submit the coin to a reputable grading service for authentication. In conclusion, the 1966 Washington quarter is one of the most fascinating coins in modern U.S. history. While most examples are worth only face value, Special mint set coins and rare mint errors can be worth significant amounts of money. Claims of a $1.9 million value are not supported by confirmed public sales, but the mystery surrounding this transitional year keeps collectors searching. So the next time you see a 1966 quarter, take a closer look. You may not find $1 million coin, but you could be holding a small piece of one of the most important moments in American coinage history. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you want more rare coin history and value videos. If you want, I can also make this longer for a 10-minute video, rewrite it with stronger suspense hooks, or adapt it for YouTube Shorts narration. Have you ever checked your spare change and wondered if one single coin could change your life forever? Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about modern US coins online, the 1989 D Washington quarter dollar. Some people claim this coin is worth up to $1.3 million. But is that really true? Stay with me until the end, because the truth behind this coin may surprise you. Let's start with the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design shows Washington's profile on the front and originally featured a powerful eagle on the back. This design became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Over time, the quarter changed materials, and after 1965 it was no longer made of silver. Instead, it was struck using a copper core with a copper nickel outer layer. Fast forward to the year 1989. In 1989, Washington quarters were produced at 3 U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin we are focusing on today is the 1989 D quarter, struck at the Denver Mint. You can identify it by the small D mint mark located on the front of the coin near Washington's ponytail. Here is something very important that many videos do not tell you. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1989 D quarters. Because of this extremely high mintage, most of these coins are very common. If you find one in your pocket today, chances are it has been circulated for decades and is worth only its face value of 25 cents. So why are people talking about huge prices like $1.3 million? This is where condition and errors come into play. Coin value is not just about age, it is about rarity, condition, and minting errors. A regular 1989 D quarter that has been used in circulation is usually worth only face value. Even uncirculated examples typically sell for only a few dollars. However, coins that are in exceptionally high mint state condition, especially those graded by professional grading services, can be worth significantly more. Coins graded MS67 or higher are extremely difficult to find for this year and mint. These coins were preserved almost perfectly from the moment they were struck. Now let's talk about errors. Some 1989 D quarters were struck with mint errors. These include off-center strikes, double die errors, weak strikes, and coins struck on the wrong plankett. Authentic mint errors can dramatically increase a coin's value, sometimes reaching hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the type and severity of the error. But what about the famous $1.3 million claim? At this time, there is no verified auction record showing a 1989 D Washington quarter selling for $1.3 million. Claims like this often come from misleading online listings, unverified sales, or misunderstandings about error coins. In the coin collecting world, million-dollar prices are usually reserved for extremely rare coins such as early American coinage, gold coins, or historic silver issues with very limited surviving examples. That does not mean a coin is worthless. A perfectly preserved 1989 D quarter with a rare and dramatic mint error, professionally authenticated and graded, could still be worth a substantial amount of money. But the key word is verified. Without professional grading and authentication, high-value claims should always be viewed with caution. So what should you do if you find one? First, inspect the coin closely under good lighting. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers, misalignment, or unusual thickness or weight. Second, avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can destroy its value. Third, if you believe your coin is special, consider submitting it to a trusted grading service for evaluation. In conclusion, The 1989 D Washington quarter is an important part of modern American coin history. While most examples are worth only face value, rare high-grade coins and legitimate mint errors can be valuable. Claims of a $1.3 million price tag are not supported by verified evidence, but the excitement of the hunt is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. So the next time you check your change, take a closer look. You never know what history might be hiding in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you want more coin value and history content. If you want, I can also rewrite this for higher YouTube retention, add hooks every 30 seconds, or adjust it to sound more dramatic, educational, or beginner-friendly. Today we are talking about a coin that almost everyone has used without thinking twice, the Washington quarter dollar. But what if I told you that a 1992 P Washington quarter has been connected to a value as high as $1.4 million? It sounds impossible, but in the world of rare coin collecting, extraordinary things can and do happen. Welcome back to the channel where we explore rare coins, hidden value, and incredible stories behind everyday pocket change. If you enjoy learning how ordinary coins can sometimes turn into unbelievable treasures, make sure you stay until the end of this video. Let's begin with the history of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a dignified portrait of Washington on the front and a powerful eagle on the back. This design quickly became one of the most iconic in American coinage and remained in use for decades. By the early 1990s, the Washington quarter was one of the most heavily used coins in circulation. In 1992, quarters were produced at multiple mints, including the Philadelphia Mint. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry a P Mint mark, which appears on the obverse side of the coin near Washington's ponytail. The 1992 P Washington quarter was minted in very large numbers and was intended strictly for everyday use. Because of this, most examples are only worth face value today. However, coin collectors know that mintage numbers alone do not determine value. So how can a 1992 P quarter be worth a fortune? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and extraordinary characteristics. Collectors prize coins that are in pristine condition. A coin that has never circulated and shows full original luster, sharp details, and perfect surfaces can be worth far more than a worn example. Professional grading services evaluate coins under magnification and assign grades that reflect their condition. Coins that receive ultra-high grades are extremely rare, especially for modern circulation coins. Another major factor is mint errors. Occasionally, coins are struck with mistakes during the minting process. These errors can include doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing design elements, or unusual metal composition. Most errors are caught and destroyed, but a small number escape into circulation. When they do, collectors are willing to pay significant sums to own them. Now let's talk about the $1.4 million story. Within the numismatic community, there have been discussions and reports about an exceptional Washington quarter dated 1992 from the Philadelphia Mint that reached an astonishing valuation, reportedly as high as $1.4 million. This was not an ordinary quarter found in pocket change. It was an extraordinary specimen believed to combine an ultra-high grade with unique characteristics that set it apart from every other known example. Coins like this are considered once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. When a coin is believed to be unique or nearly unique, wealthy collectors and investors compete fiercely to acquire it. At auction, bidding wars can drive prices to levels that seem unbelievable for a coin that originally cost only 25 cents. It is important to understand that this kind of value applies only to a very specific and exceptional coin. The vast majority of 1992 P Washington quarters are common and not worth anywhere near this amount. However, the existence of such a rare example shows what is possible in the world of coin collecting. So what should you look for if you have a 1992 P quarter? First, examine the condition. Look for sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks. Second, inspect the coin carefully for errors. Look closely at the date, lettering, and Washington's portrait. Any doubling, misalignment, or unusual features could be important. Third, If you believe your coin may be special, consider professional grading. Authentication and grading are essential steps before any serious valuation. Even if your coin is not worth millions, some high-grade D'Or-era examples can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The story of the 1992 P. Washington quarter reminds us that coins are more than spare change. They are small pieces of history, art, and craftsmanship. Sometimes, under the right circumstances, they become legendary treasures. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about rare coins, valuable errors, and hidden gems hiding in plain sight, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next coin you hold might be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you want, I can also rewrite this with a more dramatic hook, simpler language for beginners, or optimized pacing for YouTube retention and monetization. Have you ever looked at the simple quarter and wondered if it could secretly be worth a fortune? Rarest coins. Today we are uncovering the truth behind one of the most searched modern U.S. coins online, the 1987 D. Washington quarter dollar. Some people claim this coin is worth as much as $1.5 million. But how much of that is fact and how much is pure internet hype? Stay with me, because the real story behind this coin is fascinating. Let's start with the history. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan and became one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. Washington's portrait appears on the front, while the reverse traditionally featured a proud American eagle. This design symbolized strength, freedom, and national identity for generations. By the time we reached the year 1987, the quarter had already gone through major changes. The most important change happened in 1965, when silver was removed from circulating quarters. From that point forward, quarters were made using a copper core layered with copper nickel. The 1987 D quarter is part of this modern-clad era. Now let's focus on the year 1987 and the Denver Mint. The 1987 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, and you can identify it by the small D mint mark on the front of the coin near Washington's ponytail. One reason this coin attracts attention is because no uncirculated mint sets were officially issued in 1987. This means collectors had fewer opportunities to obtain pristine examples directly from the U.S. Mint, making high-quality specimens harder to find today. However, it is still important to understand that millions of 1987 D quarters were produced for circulation. Most of these coins entered daily use and show were from decades of handling. Because of this, the majority of 1987 D quarters you find today are worth only face value of 25 cents. So why do people say this coin could be worth $1.5 million? The answer lies in condition, rarity at the highest grades, and mint errors. Coin collecting is not just about age. A coin's value is determined by how rare it is in a specific condition. A circulated 1987 D quarter is common, but a perfectly preserved example graded at the highest mint state levels is extremely rare. Coins graded MS-67 or higher are difficult to locate and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about mint errors, because this is where values can rise dramatically. Some 1987 D quarters were struck with errors such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped plan case, weak strikes, or even being struck on the wrong metal. Verified and dramatic mint errors can command significant prices from collectors, especially if the error is visually obvious and professionally authenticated. However, here is the critical truth. There is no confirmed auction record of a 1987 D Washington quarter selling for $1.5 million. Claims at that level usually come from exaggerated online listings, misinterpreted error coins, or misinformation spread for attention. In the world of numismatics, million-dollar coins are typically extremely rare early American coins, gold coins, or historic silver issues with limited surviving examples. That does not mean valuable examples do not exist. A flawless 1987 D quarter with a rare, severe mint error, certified by a major grading service, could be worth a substantial amount of money. But without professional grading and documentation, extraordinary value claims should always be approached carefully. If you believe you have a valuable 1987 D quarter, here is what you should do. First, examine the coin closely under magnification. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers, unusual thickness, missing details, or off-center designs. Second, never clean the coin, because cleaning can permanently damage its value. Third, if the coin looks unusual or extremely well preserved, consider having it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. In conclusion, the 1987 D Washington quarter is an important part of modern U.S. coin history. While most examples are worth only face value, high-grade specimens and genuine mint errors can be worth significantly more. Claims of a $1.5 million value are not supported by verified evidence, but the excitement around this coin reminds us why coin collecting continues to captivate people around the world. So the next time you receive a quarter in your change, take a closer look. You might not find a $1 million coin, but you could discover a small piece of American history hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below for more coin history and value videos. If you want, I can also rewrite this with stronger dramatic hooks, make it longer for 8 to 10 minutes, or tailor it for shorts, reels, or TikTok narration. Have you ever wondered if a simple quarter from the 1990s could be worth more than a luxury mansion? Today we are uncovering the truth behind the 1993 D Washington quarter dollar, a coin that many people online claim could be worth as much as $1.4 million. Is this real, or is it just another internet myth? Stay with me until the end, because the facts behind this coin may surprise you. Let's start with the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin became one of the longest-running and most recognizable designs in American coinage. For decades, Americans carried this coin in their pockets as part of everyday life. By the time we reach 1993, the Washington quarter was still using the classic eagle reverse design that had been in place since the beginning. This was just a few years before the state quarter program would completely change the look of U.S. quarters forever. The 1993 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located on the front of the coin near Washington's ponytail. These coins were made using a copper core with copper-nickel outer layers, the standard composition for quarters since 1965. Now here is an important fact many people overlook. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1993. Because of this massive production, most 1993 D quarters are extremely common. If you find one in circulation today, it is almost always worth only its face value of 25 cents. So why are people talking about prices like $1.4 million? The answer lies in condition, rarity at the highest levels, and mint errors. In coin collecting, value is not just about age. It is about how rare a coin is in a specific condition. A worn 1993 D quarter is common, but a coin that has never been circulated and remains in near-perfect condition is much harder to find. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Most 1993 D quarters fall far below the highest grades. Coins graded MS-67 or higher are extremely rare for this issue and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if they have exceptional eye appeal. Now let's talk about mint errors, because this is where values can rise dramatically. Some 1993 D quarters were struck with errors such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped plan case, missing cloud layers, or weak strikes. Genuine mint errors that are dramatic and clearly visible can be very valuable, particularly when authenticated by a professional grading service. Collectors are especially interested in coins with major errors that occurred during the minting process, not damage that happened after the coin left the mint. This distinction is critical when determining value. Now let's address the big claim. There is no verified public auction record showing a 1993 D Washington quarter selling for $1.4 million. Claims at this level usually come from exaggerated online listings, misinterpreted error coins, or misunderstandings about how coin values work. In the numismatic world, million-dollar prices are typically reserved for extremely rare early American coins, gold coins, or unique historical errors with strong documentation. That does not mean valuable examples do not exist. A perfectly preserved 1993 D quarter with the rare and dramatic mint error, professionally graded and authenticated, could be worth a significant amount of money. But without certification from a recognized grading service, any claim of $1 million value should be treated with caution. So what should you do if you find a 1993 D quarter? First, examine the coin closely under good lighting and magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering, unusual thickness, missing layers, or off-center designs. Second, never clean the coin, as cleaning can permanently reduce or destroy its value. Third, if the coin appears unusual or exceptionally well preserved, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for evaluation. In conclusion, the 1993 D Washington quarter is an important piece of modern American coinage history. While most examples are worth only face value, high-grade coins and genuine mint errors can be worth far more. Claims of a $1.4 million price tag are not supported by confirmed evidence, but the excitement surrounding these rumors keeps collectors checking their change every day. So the next time you get a quarter back in change, take a closer look. You may not find $1 million coin, but you could be holding a small piece of American history right in your hand. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you want more coin history and value videos.